Hello and welcome to a long overdue episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and friendly neighborhood Zax, and today I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend that always knows how to hide the body so they always remain innocent. A one Mr. Officer 9001.
I haven't been involved in any murders.
Sure, officer. Sure.
What? Don't make me out to be like like that Van Dyke guy.
Say hello to the bad guy. And also a returning queen, because I would love to say something more negative, but it might create an infinite loop which leads to a black hole of destruction. We have our returning first female queen, because I'm not calling you derp. Say hi, queen.
Hello.
Okay. So for those of you who are keeping track, which is nobody, Queen hasn't been in a podcast and I want to say about in a year and a half. What you been doing?
All sorts of terrifyingly wonderful, great things. Yeah.
Not even gonna ask.
Yeah, I don't really want to go into detail what I've been doing. It's not fair. It's not okay. But hey, guess what? Moving forward, power thirst.
Okay. Well, for those of you inquiring minds who are wondering what happened to the podcast, no, it was not canceled or a loss of funding and equipment and blah, 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 whatever the fuck else people like to assume when shit comes up missing. It was actually a much more simple issue. The main machine that we do most of the recording and rendering and capturing on was in the shop for a small problem that snowballed into about 8 other problems. So instead of being like a 4 to 5 day fix, the fuck was that? It ended up being it ended up being, for lack of a better term, something close to I want to say 13-day fix. So yeah, that's actually all it was.
That's what happens when you get sourced through Dell.
You know what? What exactly is your problem with Dell?
Mostly their technical service. They always seem to always mess it up somehow and or delay it, which is always annoying. Don't even go into their answering service. You might as well just pull your hair out.
You okay? I mean, back in my day, I thought it was, well, I just made myself sound old as fuck. But back in my day, it used to be that the biggest issue was that the computers were cheap as fuck because they didn't come with any other software. So it was basically like getting a car with that perfectly works, but there's no engine. But I guess those days are long gone.
Yeah, those days changed a while ago. I have issues with their technical service and stuff, and I always have. But maybe I just find like the one person there who's like, hey, I'm going to find a way to make this person mad. I'm going to make you salty.
Salt does not begin to describe the feelings I've had. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people that are so obsessively attached to their machine that they just have to have one in their life. It's a matter of, most of my business related affairs are on this thing. So at the end of the day, I kind of want to make sure that nothing goes too wrong, but I can't really affect it if all I got is a cell phone. Yes, I have a high-end cell phone, but contrary to popular belief, cell phones are not replacing desktop computers.
Nope.
I don't know who started some shit like that, but I wish they'd stop. Anyways, well, that's pretty much it. All right, I guess, officer, what have you been up to in our little absence?
Well, following various video game news stuff, waiting to go and get a few new games, and other than that, living, I suppose, and suffered from my typical fall allergies. Apologies in advance if I cough. Will try to mute myself when I feel it coming.
You have allergies too.
Yes, it is suffering.
Yeah, y'all have fun with that. I have no allergies to anything.
Dear
Lucky
child,
you.
we shall somehow defeat these fall allergies in battle.
Yeah, it's called wait till next season. Anyways.
No. It's called Claritin.
That too.
Spoil my fun as always. Okay, well, with that being said, let's get into some of our topicos. Number one, after the sudden layoffs of 225 employees, yes, you heard me correctly, around 90% of the staff at Telltale Games is... What the fuck? You didn't even write that right. Okay, let me just rephrase this. After the sudden layoffs of 225 employees, the thought to be defunct and out of business Telltale Games is now outsourcing their Walking Dead franchise / series new season and final season to a third-party company. However, they're doing this before they've even paid their cut employees. Fair? Not fair? Do you think they could have avoided this? Why or why not? Second topic. Nintendo, in their infinite wisdom, have finally put a cloud storage in place of Switch users' save games after exceptional demand, but only for certain games. Not even joking. The official reason some games don't include it, such as Splatoon 2, is that it's there to keep players from cheating. What do you think about this? The third topic, a very popular team or brand of team in the professional fighting game community, or they like to call themselves, I believe, FLG. Yeah, they cut at least 8 players. No. They cut over a dozen players from various professional game circuits. And there's been no explanation. However, it is also including players who are bringing in a lot of money. Now, one of the major speculations to this thing is it's a first season cut. A lot of company teams only hold characters for one season. And then, based on how much money they pulled in, or if that season continues all year round, they bring them back the following year. However, 2, which is something that's been brought up by a lot of the FCG, that's what it is. No, not FCG, sorry, FGC fight game community. A lot of these players who haven't even reached their prime and are currently doing very successfully all throughout the year, who are being cut, aren't being cut during the end of a season. They're being cut mid-season. And I don't mean fired or terminated. I mean they're either A, willfully leaving the company, or B, they're leaving the company themselves by choice. However, that all got squashed when recently the team in question, Sonic Fox, or I believe it's echofox, echofox released a statement, filled with typos, mind you, that stated, we're restructuring our company. That's why we're cutting people. However, we all know how stuff like that works. Something's going on behind the scenes. So my question to you guys is, what do you think it is? And why do you think they're cutting these people? And our fourth topic is a little bit special because I don't know how in all these years we haven't done it or truly covered it. Video game music. What are some of your best soundtracks or best tracks from any game of your choice, and what composers or what people who you don't know the name of that made epic music would you like to see work in other video game genres or video game franchises? Also, pop culture bonus question. I'll throw it in whenever I want to, but I'll probably put it in the beginning. James motherfucking Gunn has work. James Gunn is now a writer on Suicide Squad 2. And if there is any human being in this dimension that can save Suicide Squad 2 or Suicide Squad as a franchise, it's James Gunn. Also, Dave Bautista said he wants to work on the project now. I don't even care what Dave Bautista does. I love Dave Bautista. Blade Runner's the shit.
Why? No.
What?
Boy, got a lovely bunch of coconuts to the lady. There they are, standing in a row. Bum, bum, bum.
Do you know what she's saying?
Oh, that's a little jingle from Monty Python.
I have no idea why she's singing it. I thought it was like Mary Poppins for a second. By the way, if that new Mary Poppins movie sucks, I'm going on a fucking riot. Anyways. Okay. So I think we'll start with the Queen, not because ladies first bullshit, but because we haven't seen / heard from her in a while. And the first question I'm going to pass to her whilst I type out the other ones I mentioned is the bonus question. Do you think James Gunn can save Suicide Squad 2? And if so, how you think he's going to do it? And also how you think he might implement Dave Bautista?
You gotta give me a second, man.
Would you like a different question?
I'm thinking of a way to respond.
So you don't want a different question?
Give the other guy first. I'll respond in a sec. I'm trying to correlate words with what I'm going to say. And
Okay, I'll type
Vodka's
out.
not helping this out, so...
Didn't you just give me shit about vodka earlier?
I've...
Okay.
Convenient.
Officer, go right ahead.
Can he save Suicide Squad? Maybe. I can't say I'm really all that interested in it, but maybe.
The question was how?
How? Probably, I mean, I'll admit, in that first Suicide Squad movie, there were some characters who were done pretty well. If he were to take them, build on them, and maybe then also, take the other characters who were pretty underdeveloped and, hey, yeah, give them a bit more. It could be a lot more interesting. Make it more of a focus on the characters rather than, anything else. He did really well with that for Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he could do it with Suicide Squad too.
What characters do you think were actually underdeveloped, though?
All of them.
I mean, other than the one guy other than maybe Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and the one dude, I forget his name, but he had control over fire.
El Diablo?
Yeah.
This
Other than those
went to
three,
see the movie. That's funny.
Other than those three, I felt much of the rest of the cast was underdeveloped. And Jared Leto as the Joker was just awful.
We need a new Joker. He's got to go.
We have a new Joker. He did go.
Oh, good.
Hallelujah.
But yeah, make it more of a focus on the characters. And I think it could do well. I would consider watching it after it comes out to theaters and it's been a few weeks and I can hear other people's opinions on it first. I'm not gonna give that thing a blind run because
Oh yeah, you mean like you did the first time?
yeah, I regretted that.
Okay,
So
well, that being said, how do you think he will incorporate Mr. Batista? Why is that name so fun to say?
forgive my ignorance here, but who exactly is this Batista?
Drax, motherfucker.
He's Drax. He's a professional wrestler. Everything else, really big, bulky dude. That kind of scares me.
Maybe as a villain. As for which villain, sorry, I couldn't really tell you much, as I'm honestly not that familiar with DC.
Here's what I never understood. Captain Boomerang's pretty much been in the Thunderbolts since inception. Why the fuck don't they put him in the movie? Is it because no one wants to call him Captain Boomerang?
That might be it. It is kind of a silly name.
First of all, the whole goddamn franchise is silly. They had a good concept and they fucked it up.
But yeah, that's pretty much my say on it. So, gonna move on to another question, or
no? Okay, Queenie, are you ready, or you still need time? Because I can change the question for you.
No, John the Gun, right? Or is it John Gunn?
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn. See,
John the Gun. That's funny.
Dude, I always get everything mixed up like that. Anything with the J, I am completely like, why? I just might as well call you Jose because I don't know what the hell your name is.
No way, Jose.
Yeah, jalapeno.
That's right. I think he has a. Oh yeah, he started a new tour too.
He makes me laugh.
That's
okay, so it's James the Gun. Okay, now I got a reference. Okay, I think ultimately, the first Suicide Squad was really not very well done. I didn't even like how Harley Quinn was actually portrayed.
I don't think anybody did.
Cutesy crazy thing, but Harley Quinn is far more than cutesy crazy. That girl is like a billion times out of her damn mind. I would have wanted to see more of like the psychotic psychosis, which is what she is the identity of. She is pretty much the poster child for. She is the poster child of mental illness. Let's just be honest. I want to see far more character development. That's what I want to see. Do I think he's going to do that? There's a chance, but you also have to remember that a lot of other people who don't know of the comics, who know of the half-assed love story between the Joker and Harley, are kind of like, that's my crap. No, that's not your crap, because it's so much deeper than that. I mean, yeah.
That girl no one should want that as their romance.
Yes, but
the word you're looking for is relationship goals, and you're both right. That should not be anybody's relationship goals. But you forget we live in the era of stupid people on the internet. They don't care if they're stupid. They care if they feel stupid.
But Harley Quinn, what is that syndrome? Stockholm Syndrome?
It's a mix of Stockholm Syndrome and histrionic personality disorder.
Yeah. That's not something that should be idolized. In all honesty, if they made a second one, I would want to see where the Joker and Harley split and she's finally actually just doing crap on her own. That's something I would pay to see. I'm sorry. I would pay to see that. That's something I would want to see. But if he does that, great, cool. I think in all honesty, I think if James Gunn was to do it, he would do more character development and he would probably intensify the plot. Because let's face it, the Suicide Squad's plot originally was not honestly that great. It jumped from one thing to,
Queen.
Let's just go for Temptress.
Queen.
Yeah. I'm ranting. Leave me alone.
I wasn't gonna stop you. I'm just gonna ask a question. Did you go see Suicide Squad 2?
No, bitch. I waited for the goddamn DVD.
So you went and saw Suicide Squad 2?
No.
You saw the movie. You're just trying to use a loophole as in saw it in theaters. No, you saw the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all taste is so shitty. Continue.
Because my dad has this obsession with Harley Quinn. I don't know.
No, he doesn't have an obsession with Harley Quinn. He has an obsession with young white women. Don't lie.
Yeah. Yep.
You could have said no. But continue.
Anything blonde, I swear he goes after it.
I don't even think Margot Robbie's a fucking blonde. I think she's like a brunette.
She is a brunette, but bleach does wonders, I guess.
Yep.
But other than that, I don't really think I will go see the next Suicide Squad because the first one was portrayed very poorly. And being a comic nerd and being into that and loving the original so much, I have issues when people try to go to movies. I have a healthy standard of respect for when they go from comic book to movies. You can't get everything right. But when you go from comic book to what the hell is that, there's a problem.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree. But, you know, I can't speak from experience because I didn't see that movie.
Sometimes you have to see bad things to understand why life's so wonderful.
And sometimes you gotta see bad things so you can warn others. No, don't go watch this, and here's exactly why.
Fuck y'all. Y'all not taking the win off this. Y'all saw that. Y'all gonna take that L and you gonna like it. That being said, moving on. Anyways, all right. Queen. Topic 1. After the sudden layoff of over 200 people at Telltale Games, they are now outsourcing their game that's due to be released via contractual obligation and using a third-party company to help them do it. Do you think that this could have been avoided? Do you think they should stop and pay their wrongful termination employees first? Is there somewhere for them to pull a W out of this situation? Why or why not?
Well, speaking business-wise, technically there's a way they still can pay for the wrongful termination and all those other fees that are going to happen to current employees. It's usually when that happens, if it's a launch like that, it's after the game's already out, they've made income, then they pay. However, let's face it, America, gaming companies in general are very, very sketchy. So I don't think in all honesty those people are going to get paid. Because, let's face it, sketchy is real. However, I do not know the terms or the circumstances for which they actually went to a third-party company. So, do you know those terms?
Yeah. They went to the comic book writer of Walking Dead, or at least the one who made it, and they went and asked him, because he owns a game company, can he help them finish? And he said yes. So as long as they meet their deadline, they have nothing to worry about. The game they have to finish is the final season of the Walking Dead Telltale series.
Well, ultimately, that's probably, I hate to say it, but if it was working with the original creator of the series, you kind of have to kiss his butt. Just a little. Or a lot.
Well, he already said yes, but, you know, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, but to go to third party, if they already had plans to stay with the original company instead of contracting out, why did they contract out? I mean, I can see the simple things like cost and efficiency and the basic stuff like that. It's a foreign company, right?
No, American. Wait,
Okay.
I don't know if Telltale tells. Hey, officer, look that up. Is Telltale an American company? I think they're an American company. I know that the other company they're using, Sky High Games or Sky Games, is American though.
Yup, they're based in San Rafael, California.
Sound what?
Then
San Rafael.
All right,
Then
that's a
okay.
new one for me. Okay.
Okay, then my ultimate guess is that they went to a different company for cost, effects, and efficiency. That's my best guess, especially since they haven't paid the wrongful terminations of all those other employees. I'm guessing that's what happened. I'm not. I'm going to say it's an assumption. By probably not fact. It could be fact. But it could be many different things, and that is a very complex situation to be in because they can open themselves up for lawsuit, and that
Oh, it's already coming.
is fun.
Like literally, I'm not even joking. They already
Yeah.
started,
Yeah.
but it's just a matter
Yeah.
of technically remember, damn near 80 to 90% of the states and commonwealths, because commonwealths aren't states. I don't know how people forget this. They are not set up as anything other than at will states, meaning that your boss can remove you from your position for no reason given at their discretion. So it sucks. But that being said, here's the weird part. If that's legal, why do wrongful termination lawsuits even get won? It's like a paradox almost.
It can be very complex, in all honesty. Yes, even though you were wrongfully terminated at will states, you can sue because there are laws that are in place with the at will work state. You can end up paying unemployment. It's really complex to actually go in, and I don't know that state's particular laws.
Cali is always a mess.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
okay. Well, are you ready for question number 2, Queen?
There's another question. Why?
Nintendo, in their infinite wisdom, have finally put cloud storage in place for Switch users save games after excessive demand, but only for certain games. The official reason some games don't include it, such as Splatoon 2, is that it's there to keep players from cheating. What do you think about this?
What?
Yeah, did you confirm that topic, officer?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
well,
doesn't make any damn sense.
this is true.
You can set up different procedures and protocols and programs to prevent cheating. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
They also aren't using any.
Any
like
ways
it.
to avoid cheating? Yep. Especially in Splatoon 2.
Oh man.
Oh, hey. Tell her about the username story. Tell her that.
So basically, as a sort of prove this to Nintendo, someone made it so that like the top 5 players of like the in the like world leaderboards, the top 5 said, I think it was something like Nintendo add anti-cheat, please. I think is what it was. Not sure exactly what it says, but it's something to that effect. And, well, what did Nintendo do? Still haven't added any anti-cheat to the game, and decided, oh, well, just ban them. I mean, banning him, that was obviously going to happen anyway, but that's all they did.
Yes, but the whole fact about his cheating and stuff like that is going to happen regardless. You literally need to have a group of people sitting there watching people to make sure cheating's not occurring, and it's ignorant to think that that's never not going to happen. People are sneaky. People will hack. People will do all these things to cheat.
They don't guard anything. It's like saying, please don't steal my money, but you wear a blindfold and you have it in a bag that's open and transparent.
But yeah, pretty stupid shit.
See, I don't get that though. Like,
Okay, well, look, just to help ease your mind with the question, let me just remind you of something. Nintendo is always behind. No matter how forward thinking they are, they will be behind in something. It's not one step forward, two steps back with that company. It's more like two steps forward, one step back. So what, or rather, how do you think they should implement cheat guards? Is the real question.
okay, ultimately to implement those, you need a team of people watching stuff. That's the hard part. That's the most secure way. I mean, you can have a program that would sit and pick up behaviors, patterns, everything like hacking programs, crap like that. But other than that, that takes money. The programmers are quite expensive to design those programs. They are not cheap. And let's face it, as Nintendo has a lot of money, but they kind of will do their best to cut a corner or two wherever they can go.
So true. Nintendo, without even trying, off of their entire mobile division, have made over $500 fucking million. But none of that money has seemed to gone into security investments. Not to mention, if you know anything about Nintendo's job board, which I'm on, they keep wanting motherfuckers to be in Redmond, Washington. Now, don't get me wrong. Redmond, Washington probably has a healthy amount of technical experts. But you're not going to find video game technical experts or people who have, for lack of a better term, crossover knowledge between internet-focused things and technical expertise and shit like this in Redmond fucking Washington. They need to stop that shit. Like, I don't understand why the company is still there. Other than, well, basically what you possibly said, they're trying to cut money. But you're not going to find those fucking people in Redmond, goddamn Washington. If they don't want to go to California, that's fine.
Well, technically you could. No, you can't.
No, because
Sorry,
first and foremost, here's the thing.
Nope.
Like, if you know anything about the basic, most rudimentary level of game coding, most of them mugs get entry level can start at $50,000 a year. $50,000 a year. And obviously Nintendo would need dozens of security people, but also a team that double checks, for lack of a better term, those motherfuckers. Like, the team that builds the shit and the team that maintains it don't have to be the same thing. So that means that that's at least in a year's time, that's over $1 million. Bitch, you made over 100 million when you made fucking Fire Emblem on the cell phone.
Yep.
Like, I think that the Japanese side of the company wants the American side to handle it, but they're not letting them do the one thing they need to do, or they're trying to avoid it, which is move shit or get comfortable with having people work long distance. It's one thing if you know you got an animator, you got a modeler, a renderer artist, or whatever you want to call them, character animation, working on the game who's not in-house. But when it's IT shit, you want to make sure there's a direct tether. Obviously, not everybody's going to be in one location. But still, they basically just need to make a whole nother business department. Like, here's the main headquarters in Redmond, Washington. Let's go put the IT department in California or a tech mecca like Illinois. Whoever the fuck else I'm forgetting about. Pay the fee. You got the money. Crazy.
Yeah, but they're not going to. That's never gonna happen.
I mean, I kind of just gave away my answer, so I don't even really have to answer that question anymore. Queen, always good to hear your answers, but I'm gonna give you a little break. All right, officer. Second verse, same as the first. Question number 2.
Shouldn't I answer question 1 first?
Yes, answer question one, then answer question two. I'm going to go on mute, and it's not because I have to go pee. Totally not the reason.
Yeah. Right. So, from what I hear, with regards to Telltale Games, apparently their management was exceptionally bad. At least until I want to say just like last year or this year or something, when they had a change in their management. I forget I never really heard the exact details, so admittedly some of this is just possibly just rumor, but they got someone new, some new management in place, but unfortunately by then it was way too late, and the studio was, well, hemorrhaging money. So they were kind of forced into this, unfortunately. I think if they had done that change of management sooner, they might have been able to get off with fewer laid off employees, but I don't think they could have avoided any layoffs whatsoever. It really is kind of a pity, though. And as for them giving oh, hey, yeah, let's just have this comic book author who just happens to have a video game company handle it, I don't really have high hopes for this. And I don't really have much hopes in the way of the employees who were laid off getting proper compensation either. As from what I hear, this is apparently a common practice in the video game industry, which, well, if that's the case, that's kind of messed up. It should probably be changed. But, greed thing. So, question 2. Well, I think it's pretty stupid to say these games aren't getting cloud saves because people could, they could like alter their data or save scum in some way. Then just update their game so that they can't do that. Force the game to save right as they're doing some like really important action, like a trade or something. Because I think another one of the ones that wasn't getting it was that Pokemon Let's Go. So I think
the name's not wrong. That's what it's called. You said it like a question.
I'm not sure if that was one of the ones, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I think Nintendo, you're just being stupid. Have the cloud saves for all games. You're concerned about cheating. I understand that. But I get the feeling that's kind of oh, we're just saying this for PR and as a distraction from something else kind of statement. Stop. Just stop that, Nintendo. Just stop, please.
You can ask them. They don't listen.
I know. But oh well.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we get to move on to topic 3. Fight game company echofox, maybe called Sonic Fox, officer looked that up for me, has done major cuts in the double digits to their roster mid-season. Why do you think that is? Queen.
I have no idea. Sorry.
I mean, you always get points with me for honesty, but did not see that coming.
It's echofox.
I don't really pay attention to many fight games. I will be very honest.
No. It's not fighting games in particular. It's a fighting game company. A company that holds a bunch of professional fight gamers and shit like that.
Still no idea. I have my certain things that I'm really good at and I know about. That's not one of them.
Okay. Officer, you want to give it a shot?
I think. She said these people that they suddenly got rid of were getting them a lot of money.
No, I said that these people that they're cutting may or may not have been cut because they didn't want to pay them, or there could be an underperformance issue, or it could be an overperformance issue, which is what actually happened to Dave Chappelle. But, you know, the news lied about it all the time. I'll get into that later.
Okay, I'm kind of curious. That has to do with that, but whatever. Maybe it might be a matter of they don't want to pay them. But it could also be, I don't know, maybe they did some pretty stupid shit that would get the community to hate them or something. I don't know. But I think your the assessment of not wanting to pay them is definitely part of it. Though I'll admit I'm also not really all that into fighting game stuff, so what I can provide for this answer is a bit limited.
You my new friend.
Actually, I don't think, Officer, did we have you on the podcast at the same time as her?
I'm unsure. Possibly not.
We have been. I remember.
Oh. It's good to know I was remembered.
I remember. I have a lot. I have a photographic memory of certain things and names and voices.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much my answer for it.
Okay, well, I have a theory. Also, before I say this, keep in mind, where the fuck are my pants? Keep in mind, that I am not in the MLG. Do I watch shit that they do? Yes. Have I talked to a decent chunk of them before? Yes. You know, I think, for lack of a better term, it may be the Dave Chappelle effect, which I'm going to elaborate.
Okay.
The way Dave Chappelle contract was set up was kind of sort of percentage based. He got a certain amount of money, but the rest of it was fucking... Hold on. Nah, just tell him not to play Fire Emblem. I don't give a shit. The what happened was he got an X amount of money, but then after that, they had gotten to, I believe, season 3 or season 4. I don't remember. And they told him, yo, this ratio contract or however it was set up, it's not working for the company. He was literally making so much money for the company, they couldn't pay him, which sounds like a weird thing. Cat Williams elaborated on it too, but basically, oh, that's pretty cool. But basically, he was supposed to get $50 million, but on top of that $50 million for the whole season as a budget, he was supposed to get something like insane, like 200 or 300 million based on what he was bringing in as far as views and shit. I think he was getting paid for like views and crap like that. And they told him, dude, we can't do it. Can we give you stock? But here's the problem. This man said no. I can understand it in the beginning. He probably didn't know how stocks worked, but he understood that they're volatile. But what he didn't seem to get was that he was boosting up the company's value. And on top of that, he could have sold them. They gave him the rest of his money due wanted to give him the rest of his money due in stock. He could have waited till they were worth more and then got rid of them bitches. So I'm just sitting up here like, real talk, I don't think he realized what he had at the time. So because of that, he said no. He left, went on vacation, and that's when they heard this whole, oh, he's crazy and lost his fucking mind and got locked up in a jail cell in Africa, and he was chilling on the beach and he heard that shit on the radio. So I'm just sitting up here like, they cut people. This is something that hasn't come up a lot, but some of the people they cut weren't from games that lost popularity or were hemorrhaging revenue and couldn't really hold or maintain any form of a secondary market for entertainment or professional gamers. They also cut a prodigy. Now, I'm not going to go into too much details on his background, but this dude named Punk. Punk, if memory serves, is like less than, I don't even think he's 22 yet. Punk in his first professional tournament, which was Evo, made it to second place last year, if memory serves. A nobody kid made it to second place. Before he was old enough to drink, I believe, he made it to second place. They cut his ass. So I think that this company restructuring and organization is for them to try to hide, oh shit, we don't have enough money to pay all these players based on the basics. Why else would you cut people mid-season? Now, if it's the Gears of War market, I understand that completely. There's no true competition market or tournament market for Gears of War. That shit is always temporary. Always temporary. But when they're cutting Street Fighter people or people that, you know, been around the block, know what they're doing, they know how to pace themselves and put out good effort or good ratios and statistics, it just looks a little bit shady. And it's not like they're trading the characters. Wow, trading the characters. Trading the people. They're legitimately getting rid of them. So that's why I'm just like, I think they didn't structure their company right, and they don't know who's a good idea and a bad idea to cut, so they're just going by numbers, whether it's wallet or wins.
Yeah, I don't get that logic though.
That's what I'm saying. No one does. If they give somebody a contract, unless performance is, you know, stupid good, they keep you for a full year, a 12-month contract. But they're cutting people before the year is over, but it's including people who are good performers. They pull in good money. Hypothetically speaking, you know, we don't know their exact net worth and shit. So, yeah. All right, officer, your opinion?
All this, kind of already stated for the most part, but yeah, it's, I honestly don't know. It could be what you said. That seems to be the most, what's the word? Logical one, but
get your Spock on.
Did you just call him Spock?
No, I said get your Spock on, which I kind of need to do because I don't know where the fuck I put my phone. And I can't even have nobody call me because my shit's on vibrate. Fuck. But yeah, go ahead and continue.
So, I guess, yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say. Like I said, I'm not really all that big into the fighting game community or the politics therein.
I got you. All
And
right.
what you mentioned, yeah, that I can't really comprehend that either. Pretty stupid.
Again, unless you're hemorrhaging. All right. Question number 4. Game music. What's your favorite song or OST from any game? And who would you like to see work their musical magic on a different game franchise? Queen.
Dude. Are we talking small artists, big artists? What are we talking about here?
As long as they've put their music into video games. You don't have to know their name. You could say the game's name if you wanted to.
Well, that gets very complex, though. There are so many different bands who've actually cooperated with
Yeah,
games.
I know.
For example, League of Legends has had not Radioactive, Imagine Dragons for their opening to their huge Grand Championship, and so on and so forth. It's
In-game music.
dude, in game, there's still what is it? I forget the name.
It doesn't matter. Just say what game they're from. Because I'm going to tell you right now, half the music that I could nostalgize, yeah, I'm not sure if that's a word either, about, I don't even know the fucking composers' names.
I might.
What game are you thinking about? My mic smell like potato?
Why do you smell like potatoes?
I said, does my mic smell like potato? I was moving it and adjusting it because I'm actually sitting on the corner of my bed. The fuck? Okay, Lambo. And I pulled it close and was like, wait, what the fuck? This kind of smells like a potato.
Okay, I don't know. I play a lot of horror games, and that's one of my passions. So I've always had a huge thing for horror games. I forget the artist's name, and it's right at the tip of my tongue, but I can't.
What game?
The one who wrote the soundtrack for Silent Hill, Room for Angel.
What game number, or what number Silent Hill was it?
God dang it, I'm trying to remember.
What happens if you Google Silent Hill Room for Angels?
I think it was 4. Yeah, I think it was 4. Now I have to find it again. Who the hell wrote that soundtrack? Because it was beautifully dark.
I believe that was the Japanese composer Akira Yamaoka, I believe.
And it's Officer with the Save.
Yeah, I like that in video games, but not everyone likes that creepy darkness into everything. So, yeah, I don't know. What's the subject again? I am really out of it.
Dude, how long have you had my phone? Oh, shit. Hold on. Be right back. You two have fun.
Basically, the question is, video game music. What, composers or, people who did certain, soundtracks do you think would be good in, other genres and stuff?
I think we need more horror games to actually come out that have great storylines, but the jump scares and stuff, but just make you kind of sit there and go, I wouldn't want to see that in a dark alley. And I like that stuff. That's my jam, though.
But this is specifically soundtracks and stuff.
There's got to be a little bit of irony about, I got homies over because they got fuck all to do. And they out of school for this semester over some shit, right? And I tell them, yo, my computer isn't here, and it just got here yesterday night, and I got to do a fuck bunch of installations. And they said, well, we might as well use your phone as a computer. But that's not the funny part or the dumb part, depending on how you look at it. I specifically told them, hey, I'm going to be on my phone doing a podcast. does anybody need to do anything important on my fucking laptop? Because I don't feel like looking for my phone. Them bitches had it the whole time.
Huh.
But yeah, sorry for interrupting.
And another the part of this question was favorite video game soundtrack.
That one's quite complicated because I like a lot of video game soundtracks.
Look, not end
Like,
all
from
be all
basic-
pinnacle.
like, from
just
basic-
like name
okay,
one or two.
Well, I like the Legend of Zelda soundtracks, like the ones from Ocarina of Time, so on and so forth. I always like the melody to them. Melody, what's it?
Sages win for life. Sages win for life.
Yeah, I like that kind of music. I like the sounds that they put into like the Final Fantasy games. I like the little whims. I just like.
Ooh, Final Fantasy. That's the works of, well, mostly the works of Nobuo Uematsu.
Yes, and love it.
He's
because
having medical trouble right now.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
but I love when you can use a form of classical music to amplify certain scenes and effects. I think that's something that's started to have gotten lost in the gaming community, is because we don't really have that, and you don't really notice that you're actually attached to that song till you hear yourself humming it later. I like that stuff, but I'm weird.
No, you're totally right. Everyone thinks that way. Sephiroth's fucking boss battle music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it. This man just basically said, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm gonna go be a 1/8 of an angel, but I still got this little human-y arm part. And then it times itself perfectly with his arrival. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
One Winged Angel was really, really catchy. After you played the original Final Fantasy VII, you were at least humming it for a good year.
Thing is, a lot
I like how
what
she
you
said 1 year.
What you described with the whole orchestral score that fits perfectly with the game, I find that I don't think it's a matter of there's not enough of it these days in video games. It's just, it's all too stuck in mostly one genre, RPGs.
I wouldn't even say that. I think the problem is that it's not valued the way it used to be. So people aren't naturally going and looking for those epic legendary composers, or they're assuming that they're locked to their company and won't do third party shit. The way I look at it, fucking what is it? It's like, look at it this way. When you play a 7-figure, 6-figure video game, or as they like to call them, the fantasy term AAA, the way music is structured is you hear it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the beginning of an intro or tutorial stage for a character. And then after that, it fades in and out based on if you're in a fight or not. And then it goes back to obscurity. When that system became mainstay, that's when we got fucked. Kara, that's a song for you. You might enjoy it later. I just dropped it in the texting page. Can you see it?
One second.
Did it load?
Yeah, one second.
Okay, cool. Well, basically, like I said, the way I'm looking at the shit. Oh wait, no, it's not my turn, but okay, so you would like to see the Silent Hill composers do more shit. But now who is your or The Legend of Zelda? Now, what would you like to see that composer work in? Like, what other type of non-Zelda game would you like to see him make tracks for?
One sec. Goddamn kids getting out of goddamn bed.
Why does she use plural?
No.
I don't know, because that child has multiple personalities. Gotta claim them all.
Huh.
I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking.
No, she technically doesn't. It's just what mood do I really want to see her in? That's the whole thing. Cat, stop. Okay. Yeah, technically that music's more reserved for like RPGs. But it's not really suited too much for like first person shooters. No one wants to hear do-do-do-do. What was that?
Halo comes to mind, actually.
Yeah, Halo is that's like the one area, because that was more like a first person shooter. You're going through a role play situation almost. If you're going through story mode. If you're not going through story mode, that's a completely different thing. But they also had electronics in the soundtrack for Halo.
Interesting.
True.
So, a Legend of Zelda Halo soundtrack. I kind of want to hear that because they do fake orchestral shit, and they do a good job of it.
Halo is a different story. Halo was it honestly that was one of my favorite games when I was younger.
Till they fucked it up with corporate greed.
Don't remind me. I'm still pissed.
Now you all know how I feel about Sonic the Hedgehog. You know my suffering.
I'm sorry, but I will never be able to play Sonic after that meme.
Do I even want to know?
Do you know the way?
Look, that was Knuckles based, okay?
But
well,
where the fuck does
you are calling her the queen.
Shut up! Shut up!
Hey, man. You said it. I didn't say it. You're the one who said it.
I also said shut the fuck up now, didn't I?
I suppose.
Show me the way.
It's not even how they do it.
Yeah, I know it's not, but this is just too ironic.
You were so lucky Hill's not here. Like, that's right. I keep forgetting y'all haven't seen everybody. I'm the only one who's seen everyone, but Hill isn't Ugandan, but he can pretend to be Ugandan because he looks foreign black. He looks like a black that is not from this country. And it doesn't help that he can easily say the way.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're describing there. My next door neighbor actually is like from Africa.
Well, I still can't figure out what do you call an African American that's actually an African who's not American when they're in America? Like, what is the terminology?
Which country did they come from? Call them from, whatever pronoun used to describe someone from there, and then add American to it.
Good to know.
Like if they're from Nigeria, Nigerian American.
Gotcha.
At least that's how I would think it'd be done, but I don't know.
No. You making sense.
So I don't really got too much time left here. Should I go next?
Well, she didn't really finish, but yeah, go ahead. She's drawing anyway.
Well, one thing that I'll say is there's a lot of composers that I am fond of.
Who the fuck been texting on my phone? Oh my fucking God. Every goddamn time. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So to go back like the furthest, to be like one of the oldest ones, I respect the music of a one Koichi Sugiyama. However, I have absolutely no respect for the man himself.
Okay, well, that sounds like a story. One, what games did he do music for? Two, what the fuck did he do?
Dragon Quest.
Okay.
He's basically all the Dragon Quest games. he's been the one who did the music for him.
And why
All
do
the
you
way
not
back
like
to the
him?
first one. Well, he for one, he seems to strongly dislike LGBT and doesn't believe there should be allowed any special rights in Japan.
Didn't they just get rights of anti-discrimination laws like literally 2 days ago?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
he's having
I'm not really sure.
He's having a bad day.
And he also believes that the rape of Nanking was mostly like all the various details about it are fabricated, and that it was nowhere near as bad as people are saying it was.
I don't even know what that's about, but yeah, he doesn't sound like a very likable person.
Yeah,
that's
why I said
doppelganger?
His music, yeah, it's really good stuff. The man himself, terrible person.
So basically, every country has a Kanye. Boom-ts.
Let's see here, and now for
hold on a second, Kara.
What?
See, one day I'm gonna get you to acknowledge me in a normal human being way.
Hello, how may I help you?
That's eerily good. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I'm pretty sure it'll make sense, or you already know it makes sense because you've been looking at your phone. You should let me know when that's going on. All right, Matt, go ahead and continue.
Let you know when what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, don't even fucking try.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, in all honesty. I'm being sincere.
Okay, well, officer, continue.
Alright, I guess you guys can sort that out later. Another one that comes to mind that's actually fairly recent, there's a Japanese sort of like symphonic rock metal band called Sound Horizon, led by this dude Revo. He did all of the music for Bravely Default. And that game has some of the best music I have heard in video games since Chrono Cross.
About to say.
Or Chrono Trigger.
I will slap you.
Because
you do not take the name of Chrono Trigger in vain.
Well, I'm saying Bravely Default is the best I've heard since those.
Chrono Cross. You meant Chrono Cross.
As far as I see it, both Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger
Bitch, don't
are
you blaspheme
equal.
in this podcast.
They're equal in terms of soundtrack quality. Both are amazing. I can't say one is better than the other.
I'm gonna look up 3 songs from Bravely Second.
No, don't look up Bravely Second. Bravely Default.
Why?
Revo didn't do the soundtrack for Bravely Second.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look up 3 songs from Bravely Default. If they don't make me, as a grown-ass man who's pretty much seen and dealt with damn near everything, try to fight back tears. Sir, I am demoting you from Lieutenant Ossifer 9001 to Lieutenant Officer -1. Your shit bet not suck.
Doesn't really suck. But I think it'd be really pretty cool if Revo were to take more time to do music for some other games. Maybe even do some collaborative work with other famous Japanese composers. Or maybe even come across the pond, if you will, and do some work here in the United States. The guy is really good. Other than Bravely Default, he's also most well known for doing the openings of Attack on Titan.
Holy shit. That's an interesting portfolio right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Let's see here. Then, of course, there's the obvious. Yeah, I'm very fond of the works of Nobuo Uematsu.
Sorry, I love doing that.
I actually prefer. There was another one from Final Fantasy IX, actually. A couple from Final Fantasy IX that I thought were a fair bit better, to be honest. Then again, I'm kind of biased as 9 is one of my favorites.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. A musical preference has to exist. That's how this conversation happens. All right, well, let's move on to the second part of this question since you don't have a lot of time. What of those composers would you like to see do? What would you like to see those composers do in a different game franchise or title? Like, where would you stick them?
Personally, from what I've seen of like the example I gave earlier, Revo, I think he could do pretty wide variety of different things, to be honest. Like, he could easily do music for another RPG, but I think he could also maybe provide a nice, memorable soundtrack for, say, really artsy-looking shooter game.
I meant like specifically what game would you like to see them make music for?
That's a very hard question.
Y'all killing me.
Are you talking about, say, replacing a game with, say, oh, instead this composer did it?
I'm saying having them featured in a game that they normally wouldn't occur in. Like, if you could take that entire group of people you just mentioned, what other game franchise or game title would you like to see them in?
Some might say it's a bit blasphemous to suggest this, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have, say, Nobuo Uematsu providing some tracks for the next Elder Scrolls game.
I think that would be the only way I would play that game. I would literally get the PC version just so I could rip the music tracks. That's actually pretty genius because them games are usually fucking long. Okay, I guess it's my turn. Officer, I appreciate you for coming. It's always a pleasure. And we're going to be playing catch up, so hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, you're doing another one tomorrow?
Dude, yeah, I told you I'm doing like 2 more. One tomorrow and then one the day after that.
Alright, well, I'll be available tomorrow.
No, actually, no, I think, sorry. One for Friday, one for Saturday. Or either one for Saturday, one for Sunday.
Well, regardless, I'm available Friday and Saturday. And I got maybe 5 more minutes so I can at least hear some of what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Back in the day, you couldn't always find or pronounce the composers you would like's music. Now, if you know anything about traditional orchestral themes and whatnot, in America, Hollywood got a stranglehold on them shits. So here's a little bit of a fun fact. As we all know, main characters from Hideo Kojima have about as much creativity in them as tracing. So, for lack of a better term, Escape from New York's, forget who played the character, is basically meant to be Solid Snake.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell is meant to be Solid Snake. Not to mention, he even went and got the composer from Escape from LA to do a lot of the famous or infamous Metal Gear songs. Like that warning music from Metal Gear Solid, he did all that shit. I would like to see him do a Mega Man X soundtrack. Because if there's one thing that's been very consistent with Mega Man music, it's a level of digital quality and layers that you normally don't see in, the current round of 2D games or games that have a 2D history. But I want to see him specifically do Mega Man X9, which we now know is going to be a thing. I would love to see that. Also, I would love to see the composer of the first 2 Sonic games do a soundtrack for Legend of Zelda. Or at least, be a supporting composer. But the big daddy of them all, the really, really big thing that would just possibly shake me to my core, Yoko Shimomura, the person who left Street Fighter after doing all of that iconic, left Capcom after doing all of that iconic Street Fighter 2 music, the person who made those songs that have been remixed and remastered, if I'm counting right, at least 11 times, she actually got convinced to go into Square Enix because of Nobuo Uematsu. And she's gotten more fame just from doing Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts soundtracks. I want to see her do Nier Automata music. That's right. You're quiet because your mind is thinking how the fuck that would sound. It's okay. Mine does too.
No, I already know how it'll sound. It'd be a little bit different, but
my dick tingles just thinking about it.
What the hell?
That's what stops you from drawing? Of all the things said tonight, that's the one that stops you?
Yeah, I hyper focus on art, man. Sorry.
I won't even go there. You'll figure it out later. Anyways.
Hey, art takes passion, it takes love, it takes kindness, and it takes a lot of goddamn effort.
I didn't say it didn't. I'm not bemoaning you. I'm just not saying something that I will either say for a rainy day or not say. Now, with that being said, you guys feel free to drop in over the course of the next 2 to 3 minutes, at least one track, including you, Queen, at least one track from any of these artists that you mentioned. And I'll be sure to put them in the background of the podcast. And with that being said, this has been a long overdue, exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm going to go figure out what type of footage I should use for this background video. And I will see you guys when I see you. Queen, you got any closing statements? Queen.
Perhaps not.
Kara.
Oh, what?
Do you have any closing statements for our loving 2.5 viewers?
2.5? My God.
Yeah, we had a resurgence.
Damn. Ooh, shiny!
You know, if you couldn't think of anything, you could have just said, I don't have anything.
No, I found a shiny little ball.
Officer, closing statements.
Well, it's been a while, but I'm glad to be back.
Sarah Silverman has a show called I Love America on Hulu. It's basically a rated R version of The Daily Show. Go watch it. And I will see you guys